Hey guys, and welcome to game number 10 out of 100 of the Mack vs. Machine series, where I'll be playing 100 games of Scrabble against the top Scrabble bot, HastyBot. Now, just a quick content note before I jump in. I've been uploading these pretty much every day for the last week or so, and I think after this video, I'll probably go down to every other day or maybe 3 or 4 days a week, just so that that way I'll have a bit more time to work on other fun videos, like maybe guess the ELO videos or some other fun variants and shorts. I know these videos are a bit long and meaty, so that'll probably be a bit of a better viewer experience just to have more of a mix, and I think that'll give people a chance to catch up and not fall too far behind in this series, whereas they might if videos get posted every single day. So going forward, these will probably be like 3 days a week or so. So the series will take a little bit longer, but I think the overall viewing experience should hopefully be a bit more enriching. So just wanted to note that before we get started, but without further ado, let's go ahead and launch game number 10. It's HastyBot's turn to go first, and he opens with Booth. We've got a bit of a clunky rack here, 2 W's, 2 R's. We do have some promising potential within the rack, though. We've got E and RT, which are all very strong bingo tiles. One option that jumps out is just WOW for 17 to get rid of both W's. I don't love, of course, keeping both of the R's, but if I can just draw 1 or especially 2 vowels, I'll be in a great position to potentially bingo next turn. I just don't really see a lot of other options. I guess I could play like Rote through this O. NRW is pretty ugly though as far as leaves go. I'd probably rather keep the E and RRT and see if I can bingo next turn. I don't really have anything that reaches the double from the H, I don't think. Through doesn't quite get there. I guess I could also play Warn if I want to keep an E. But I'm not a huge fan of this either. I don't think the W really makes my bingo percentage go down, so I don't really think this leave is materially better, if at all better, than the leave after WOW. It is a bit more flexible for scoring potential, but I really don't love keeping W's, especially this early in the game, so I think I'm going to probably go with WOW here. Okay, so HastyBot has exchanged 5, and Arak is looking a little bit better. We have, let's see, Aberrant with an A, Banterer with an E. Neither of those are floating, and I don't believe we have playable bingos with any of the tiles that we can play through. The first thing I'm going to look at once I conclude that there's no bingos are possible doubles through this T, but I don't think there are any. Yeah, we almost have also like Badener through this T, but it doesn't quite work. Maybe Brawn through this W is decent. It scores 17, which isn't a ton, but it keeps ERT, which is quite flexible. I guess Brawn also plays through the other W. Not sure it makes a huge difference. Probably this Brawn is better just because it makes the triple here a little bit harder to hit, since he'd have to end with an A to make AB, as AB is the only 2 other word ending in B. Whereas if I play the other Brawn, then he can play something ending in an E or even a Y. It just makes it a lot easier to hit. So I think Brawn here is probably the safer of the 2 Brawns. I guess I could also play Brandt through the T. That's 3 less, though. It still opens plenty of scoring spots next to the B, or also maybe a big Z spot here. So I don't see a good reason to play that over Brawn. I don't see anything great through the H. I could do something like Breath, but RN is definitely quite a bit worse than ERT as a leave. So I think this is worth the sacrifice. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this. Okay, he plays Havoc from the H. And let's see, there's a bunch of 8s through this O, some of which we'll play. We have Teardrop, which fits. Parroted also fits. Predator also fits. Prorated does not fit. And Pro Trade does not fit. And I believe those are all of them. So I think it's definitely parroted seems unnecessary, because that'll put a D in the triple lane. So it's between Predator and Teardrop. Let's see what they both look like. I'm mostly concerned, both of them take an S. Predator actually also takes a Y, which is a little bit of a factor. I'm mostly looking at the situation here with this spot and also maybe across. So Teardrop makes it pretty easy for him to hit that. I guess Predator does too. Although, I think I like Predator just because it's a little bit harder for him to overlap across. Since now an E specifically has to go here, and he'd have to end something in like IE or EE. Whereas after Teardrop, he just has a lot more flexibility. I think the E is also a little bit harder to start with, especially with a Z. Like A, you have Azine, Azode, all those things. With EZ, there isn't really anything. So I think Predator is a bit safer. I'm going to go ahead and play that. And there's that Y hook I was talking about. He does play Predatory and I, but that's not that many points. We've drawn the Q, and we can get rid of it with Caught, but that's only 12, and we can score quite a lot of points in the corner here with something like Home. I think this looks pretty good. I could also play Home here. I don't think there's a huge difference, but I'd say I prefer this just because these tiles are a little harder to bingo to, and I'll be taking a lead. Also, the Q actually works pretty well with vowels, especially if I do pick up one of the 4 remaining U's. It's kind of nice to have a lot of vowels with the Q. So I think this looks fine here. Oh wow, here's a word I didn't know. Depredatory. Wow, I certainly knew depredation was good. I would not have known this word or had the confidence to play it, but of course HastyBot has perfect knowledge, and he goes ahead and slaps it down for a nice 36 points. So very cool. Now, as for our turn, I guess Kadi here looks pretty decent. Another option is Cannot, which is nice since it does set up our I for next turn, paralleling QI, but the problem is there's still no I's have actually been played. There's still 8 I's, and that means the odds of him also having an I are quite large, and I don't think it's worth it. Oh, there's actually a better play, though. I'm just saying. There's Niqab to this B. That's 37, which is quite a lot more than either of the other plays, so that's almost certainly going to be worth it. I'm going to go ahead and play that. Okay, he does get down fairies for a nice score there. And let's see, we've got a decent rack here. Looking to see if maybe we can overlap here in this spot. We almost have things like Reefy or Beefy, but not quite gonna work. Yeah, I don't see anything great. I mean, TYE is okay, but it's kind of uninspiring. We don't necessarily have to go there, though. Maybe Feist here. That's 38. That's a lot more points. EOT has pretty good bingo potential. I feel like Feist is probably a little bit better than any of the plays over here. What if we put an F there? I still just don't really see anything. Yeah, FET CEYO is not a great leave. I really don't love the Y, so I'd kind of like to get rid of that if we can. I don't see anything great through this N or this I. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play Feist. Ooh, okay, so he plays Dig, and we'll definitely be bingoing. The question is where. So obviously the number one spot I'm going to look at having this strong a rack is through this F with a triple-triple. A 9 through the ID on a double-double would also be cool. So I'll sort of just go through the letters one by one and see what I have that might fit. So an A is, I don't think, going to be anything. B is a better in Tabaret. Nothing there. C, I don't think so. D, E, F, G. G we have Fraudage doesn't fit. Garrot. I don't know where that'll go either. E, F, I don't think there's... Oh, actually, I was already at G. I should be going to H. H, I don't think makes anything. I, J, K, L. L is retotal. M? Don't think so. N, O, P, Q, R, S is toaster and rotate. So worst case, I'll probably just play booths and rotates, I guess. Which isn't very exciting, but it's still a bingo. T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Yeah, I don't see anything through the F or the ID that's going to fit. So I'm also down to 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and play rotates and booths. Again, not the most exciting bingo, but sometimes you got to take what you get. And he does get down Justers and Havocs. So he's doing a great job at staying in this game and definitely turning into a shootout. Lots of bingos here, pretty wide open still. We have Misguide with an M or Disguise with an S, neither of which are available. Almost uglifies through the F, not going to work. Maybe, let's see, we have the last S, so we'd like to hold on to that. I don't want to spend it with Gids. So maybe just Gid here. Scores 24, gets rid of most of our bad tiles. I think I like that. I also want to play quickly since I'm down to about 4 minutes. I think this is probably fine. Let's go ahead and do it. Oof. Okay, so he gets down influx for a lot. And heavy Val draw for us. But the good thing is there are plenty of places to bingo still, right? There's this R, this G, now this new 7 line he created. So no need to panic. We're only down 30. We should probably be trying to bingo, though, because we can't score. So the question is how? I'd love to get rid of at least an O and a U. I guess U is an option. How strong is this sleeve? I don't love that there's still 3 eyes left. I really don't want to get another eye. If I could play OI for a lot more points, I would probably consider that, but I'm not sure that's possible. Yeah, unfortunately with all these 1-pointers, there's just not going to be a way to score a ton of points. If there was a way to set up our S, too, that would be kind of nice, actually. I mean, we could actually do Dote. Right, is there anything that still fits there? I think it's probably just a little bit... It's probably just a little bit too easy to block. I mean, he can play anything from this S and just block it very easily. Or even, well, there's only one O. I was going to say parallels next to this J. I'm also just not sure how strong this INUSO leave is. It might not be likely enough to hit. It's an interesting idea, though. I feel like at this score, I'd probably rather just do something a little bit more sound. I don't really think I need to be doing that kind of, making that kind of play. I guess I don't know, the upside is really strong, though. Yeah, this is kind of a tough call. Because depending on what he has, it may actually be kind of hard for him to deal with this. I also do need to make a decision fairly quickly. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna just play SOU. It also gives me a U to play through, which could be annoying for him to deal with. I think this is a little bit safer. Okay, he plays Zek for a lot. I guess, do I have to just play Oleines here? Leaves 1 in the bag. It'll be basically a tie game. Yeah, I don't think there's any merit to not bingoing, so I think I'm gonna have to do that and hope for the best. Plays yeah, I don't think I can win this. He's got too good a rack. He's got glaring to go out on top. And he's going to be able to score here. Yeah, there's no way I can win this. I probably needed to draw both of the A's. Can I stop him from going out? Does he have anything? No, it's dragline danglier through this DE. He's not going to have anything there. I don't really have anything that hits here anyway. Just Amino, but then I'm going to be stuck with PV, which isn't going to go out. Maybe Vino saving Imp somewhere to go out. Do I have 2 outs if I do that? Yeah, I have Pima and Imp. I don't know. I'm also low on time. I think I'm just going to do this. It stops him from going out, and it saves 2 outs. Yeah, probably not the best, but let's see. 6 seconds. Let's just play Pima, I think. I don't see anything better. Okay, so 473 to 433 in favor of HastyBot is the final score. Definitely an interesting game. Unfortunately, wasn't able to quite score enough with my bingo there at the end to counteract all his high-scoring plays. But still, I think I played reasonably well. I do want to look at that Sioux turn in more detail and a few others. But yeah, let's take a look. Okay, so he opens with Booth, which seems reasonable. Bothy is maybe arguably better just to keep 1 vowel instead of 2, but Booth, the EI vowels are a lot stronger than the O, and also not giving an E as a floater is nice to reduce my bingo percentage, so I think Booth is fine. Yeah, WoW seems okay. I didn't even look at New, but RRTW is pretty gross, so I definitely don't think I would have played that anyway. Yeah, I obviously wasn't thrilled with WoW, but I think it's reasonable. Wow, he has 7 vowels here, so keeping AE seems a little bit odd to me. I guess you could make the argument, though, that there's a T and an H floating, which are both consonants, so it makes sense to keep more vowels. But I don't know. I think I would probably still just keep an E here, personally. I don't hate AE, but personally, I still just don't love 2 vowels and 1 consonant early in, or 0 consonants early in the game. So I'd have traded to an E, but I don't think this is a big deal. Braun looks fine here, either way. I guess Birth would have been reasonable too, but I'd rather just keep the stronger leave at this point for 3 points and give myself the best chance to bingo. So I think Braun is okay. Havoc looks pretty good. Yeah, these are the 3 possibilities. I ultimately decided on Predator instead of Teardrop, just because the A is pretty easy to use here after Teardrop, and there's like ING, there's even ending in an H. There's just a lot more, or a Y, a lot more parallels here that'll hurt me after Teardrop than there would be after Predator, since now he has to have pretty specific tiles that'll fit under Predator to cause a lot of damage. So I think this is perfectly fine. So he has kind of a weird decision here. He plays I next to Predator to make predatory. This is probably the best he can do equity-wise. It does give back pretty scary opening on the bottom here, as well as on the right. The one good thing about this is it does create 2 openings, so that if I use one, he'll hopefully be able to use the other. So that may be the saving grace that makes this play worth it. There is the depredatory play, which he ended up playing next turn, actually, and that's another thing in favor of I. He saves that for the next turn. And if he plays it now, he's keeping 4 vowels, which is pretty rough. So yeah, I think this is not great, but probably reasonable. Home looks okay here. I clearly need to use that spot, and I think given I have the Q, the 2 vowels probably make sense, just so that if I do draw the U, I'll have as much flexibility as I can. Yeah, this is a really cool play by him here. It's I think it's debatable, though, whether Phi is better, just because the DEIS sleeve is so much stronger and more likely to bingo. But 12 more points is substantial, so I can't really fault him for taking this. Even if I saw it, I might have still played Phi, but I think this is also reasonable. Yeah, Niqab is. I'm glad I took the time to spot this. This is pretty clearly better than Kadi or Kanad, just for the extra points. Fairies looks good here. Yeah, I think Feist is fine. I didn't actually look at Fey here, but I wouldn't have done this for 8 less points. I'm not too worried about an F in the middle of the triple lane, so this looks good. Dig. Yeah, I think I might have played Grist here. RSST it's good, but if you don't draw 2 vowels, it's going to be pretty tough to bingo. DS is just a little bit more flexible. What I do like about Dig, though, is it sets up this nice scoring spot for one of your S's if you don't bingo, and then you still retain your second S. Whereas Grist doesn't really create any more S spots. It does keep booths, though, so the S still has a lot of value, and you do keep 2 consonants instead of 4. I probably have a slight preference for Grist in this position, just for maximum balance. But Dig probably does have a higher bingo percentage, just because like if you draw an E, you're so likely to have something that I can't really argue with Dig, especially if you're playing from a slight deficit. So yeah, I think I'd still prefer Grist, but I'm fine with Dig too. Let's see. Oh, did I miss a spot for Garrot somewhere? Apparently I did. Let's see where it was. Oh, on the top right. Yeah, I didn't. I saw Garrot when I was going through the alphabet, but I did not catch this spot. That looks probably worth it over rotates. I mean, it is a little bit debatable, just because it does put a G there, but a blank G in the middle of a triple lane isn't the scariest thing. I guess there is things like zigs and jigs that are pretty common, and also ing. I will be taking a lead as well, so there is something to be said for rotates instead of Garrot. I definitely should have at least seen Garrot. I don't necessarily think it's a mistake, just given the score. 4 points isn't nothing, but I don't know if it's substantial enough to justify putting a G right there when there's so many I's and S's, and I mean jigs and zigs are an easy 60-70 points. So I'm fine with rotates. I'm not sure which I would have played if I saw Garrot. I may have stuck with rotates. Would like to give an honorable mention to Trematode as a 9 to the DE, which is a word I'm familiar with, but did not see in the game. So that's a cool play. But yeah, I think would have at least liked to have seen Garrot. Not necessarily convinced it's better than rotates, but it's a close call. I can live with either one. He gets down Justers, which he would have gotten down regardless, since he did have 2 spots. Gid looks good. Oh, Giddies is kind of cool. I didn't actually see that. Again, another play I wish I saw and looked at. Not a play I would have made though. It's 16 more, but IU with 4 more I's and 2 more U's unseen is potentially deadly leave. And as I mentioned during the game, this is the last S, the case S, so it comes with a good amount of value, and spending it for that just doesn't seem worth it. So again, wish I saw it, but and considered it, but don't think it's right. So Gid seems okay. Influx looks pretty good for him. Hard to argue with that. Unfixed is reasonable too. But Influx IT is consistently a little bit better than IL, especially there's 2 L's and no T's unseen. So I'd rather keep the T and get rid of the L. This looks good. Yeah. I missed Yoni here. That is definitely a better play. Yep, that's a mistake for sure. 29 is too many points not to play. I think I got a little bit hung up on keeping the N here, since it was my only consonant other than the S. I thought a lot too about this setup idea of DOT from this DT, but I guess I just felt there is still an R for Doter. There's also just enough possibilities of him blocking the spot either intentionally or unintentionally, and INOUS as a leave just wasn't quite strong enough. So I think I'm fine with not playing Dote, but yeah, I've got to see Yoni here. That's way too many points. And EOSU isn't great, but there's enough consonants in this pool to help it improve. And yeah, as we saw in the game, I need my points even if I'm going to be bingoing, and I can't afford to be giving up 20 points right here. So this is unfortunately a pretty sizable mistake. It's hard to know what would have happened if I played it. As it turns out, I probably wouldn't have bingoed and would have likely lost anyway, but that's certainly no excuse. I've got to see this, and I've got to play it. That's not that hard a play to come up with. So yeah, that's really, I think, my first and possibly my only clear mistake of the game. But let's see the rest. Yeah, Zek is kind of hard to argue with here. I guess Tiz does have the merit of not giving back the big scoring spot, but I actually like giving back the scoring spot here, because that way, if I do bingo, he'll still have the possibility of hitting it next turn. Whereas if I use it, then I'll be sort of wasting another turn, and that'll give him another chance to block the bingo line. So that's one thing to think about. On the other hand, he's not keeping an A, right, after Zek, and he's not necessarily going to draw one. So he does have to be careful, too, of the possibility that I bingo and he doesn't draw an A, and then I score on top of it. So there is that argument to be made against Zek. Tiz, about the same score. I do kind of like keeping the K as well for additional scoring next turn. It sets up plays like Keg for a solid score. I may have a slight preference for Tiz here. If Zek kept an A, then I would almost certainly prefer Zek. But with only 2 A's unseen, I don't know if you can really reliably count on drawing an A in this position. It's kind of a tough call. I guess the logic here would be if he plays Zek and I bingo, then pretty much the game is gonna come down to who draws an A, because at that point it'll be pretty much a tie game. And if he doesn't have an A, then it's gonna be hard for him to block, and I'll score 40 and should be able to win. Whereas if he has the A, as what happened in the game, he'll score 40 and he should be able to win. After Tiz, if I bingo, then it's again a tie game. And I just feel like that's a little bit more of a secure position for him. He'll have the K to score with to counteract any openings I make with my bingo, and he's not sort of just like putting on the line whether he draws an A or not should I bingo. So if he kept an A with Zek, I think it's clearly the right play. Again, that way if I bingo, he has that scoring comeback, and if I use the spot, then he's still presumably ahead a little bit, and then he can play some more bingo defense next turn. But given he doesn't have the A, I personally feel more comfortable playing Tiz, saving the K for scoring, than trying to hope for an A to come back against a bingo after Zek. So I don't think it's like a big mistake or anything, but I do think Tiz is a little bit more precise. Yeah, I think I pretty much have to bingo here. Because now from my perspective, if I can draw both of the A's, or if I can draw an A and leave an A in the bag, I might have a decent shot here. Because, I mean, if he doesn't have a great rec, he might not really be able to use the left-hand side very well, or even if he does and he can't go out in 2, I could easily drop like AG or AM for almost 50 and outrun him. So I think I've got a bingo here. I don't... I mean, I, of course, didn't see Yoni again, but I still don't think it's worth it here. I'm just not likely enough to bingo, and at this point, if he has... I'm not going to have time at this point, right? Since I'll be leaving 5 in the bag, I'm not going to have time to do this and then hit an A play and then bingo. There's just not going to be enough tiles left for me to do that, which would probably be my only real path to victory, because if he hits that spot next turn, then he'll be up 80, and bingos here aren't going to even be enough anymore, most likely. So I think I've got to just bingo here and hope for the best. There are some positions like this where bingoing gives back a lot, and it's better to not bingo. But in this case, not bingoing, I just don't see that much merit to it, or a real clear path to victory after not bingoing. So it's worth considering, but I think here bingoing is fine. Yeah, here he just plays at. He doesn't. I guess he does have to worry about vamp potentially. Of course, the A was in the bag, so it wasn't a factor. But I think either way, he's got to go on this spot, just because I could also have the A and use it. So this looks reasonable, and then maybe he can outrun vamp if in some cases. It would actually be interesting to play that out though. Like if he draws an I, and I play vamp. So let's see, vamp is 42, 49. At is 42. So I would be up 8 after vamp, keeping ION. He'd have riling. R-I-L-I-N-G, which I don't think is going to go out. Almost will go out, but not quite. And I'll have I-O-N, which I'll be going out with. I might actually be winning in that case. I'll quickly export it to Quackle and take a look. It's just, I'm not sure it affects what he should do. Here he probably should play at either way, but it's just an interesting endgame to look through. So let's take a quick look. And let me remember as well to move the webcam so I don't block the Quackle evaluation bar. Okay, so here, and yeah, after at, what I was wondering is if I were to draw the A, do I win here with a vamp? And my instinct was yes, but let's see. I do, and I actually win with this vamp as well, even though I leave ring for him. Yeah, so this should win. I didn't really see anything that great for him here. Yeah, Yin is best, and then I'll easily have enough here by going out with Ion and winning. So at, interestingly, isn't 100% win, and that just goes to show you I was absolutely correct to bingo here with Oleine, since there's enough counterplay it generates, and there's enough possibilities for me to win depending on what he has in the end game. But yeah, I think he's got to play at here, because if he goes in the corner, then he's just leaving himself too open to me playing AM or even AI here and taking a 20-point lead. That might be tough for him to come back against. But I'm curious to see what Quackle Championship player thinks, because it is possible that if he can go out in 2, actually, he may be better off going there. The problem is he has to worry about getting V stuck too. Yeah, so apparently Ling actually wins 7/8 of the time, whereas we just saw at loses with an I draw, which happens 2 out of 8 times since there's 2 I's. Ling, I would presume, is going to lose with a V draw. But let's see. Yeah, I can't imagine what else it would lose with other than a V. Let's see. So if he draws the V, what do I have that wins in this position? Do I go out in 2 after M? I'm not even sure if I go out in 2. I may not need to, because I'm scoring 50 points. Yeah, because I'm going up 25 here, and how is he scoring enough to come back? Yeah, he's just not, because after Vac, yeah, I just win easily here. Even though he goes out first, he just isn't going to score nearly enough, and I'll win pretty easily. I guess Ling does win with every other possible draw. Because like if he draws an I, he'll have 2 outs, right? He'll just have Trait and Tirade. And probably every other tile too. Like if he draws the P with Part, he'll have Trapped and Part over here. With an M, he'll definitely have 2 outs too, I have to imagine. Yeah, he has the cool Tarama through the AA, and he has Mart up here, so that'll be a win. And let's see, what else? How about if he draws the... Well, if he draws the A, then he's fine, because then I can't use this spot. And the N should easily, and the O will both easily leave him 2 outs as well. So if he draws the N, yeah, he'll have Antra and Ardent, so that will be, and Rant, so that'll be 2 outs. And lastly, if he draws the O, which is the last possibility, will he have 2 outs? He has Tarot, and yeah, he has Tarot here. And just for reference, like in a situation such as this one, right, even if I have AM for 50, his outs will easily score enough, because I'll have the V and the P. So he goes out for 17 here, and he'll still score enough to win. So Quackle's evaluation does look correct here. Ling does seem to win other than with a V draw, whereas his play of at in the corner seems to win other than with an I draw. And in this case, with 2 I's and 1 V, he did make a mistake here. He should have played Ling. It's important to note that I just bingoed, so I literally have a random rec. He can't infer anything about what I have, so it's full random probability calculation here, and as such, there's 2 I's and 1 V, so he should be preferring the play that loses with a V draw as opposed to an I draw. So yeah, Ling would have been a slight pre-endgame improvement for him in this case. Let me move the webcam back to the top left. There we go. Ling would have been a bit better for him, but At is still a 6 out of 8 win, and he did draw the other A, which is one of the tiles that wins for him. Pretty clearly no wins for me here. I'm not even going to put this into Quackle since his rack is too strong, and I saw it Mino, but then I'm not going out next turn, so yeah, there's no way for me to make up 40 points. I played Vino, which probably isn't best. Vomit looks a little bit better. Yeah, actually Vomit is nice, because then I save up. Well, no, actually, wait a minute. I can't play Vomit, because then he just goes out with Glaring. I was going to say Vomit is nice to set up Pina, P-I-N-I, next turn, but then he just goes out. So yeah, maybe Vino is actually fine. I'll put this into Quackle. I'm curious whether Vino is best. So he didn't actually play Ling. He played At, and I had this. Let's see. Webcam back. Looks like the best endgame for me would have been to play Pieing. So Vino is 3 points back. Let's see, what's the idea with Pieing? So I have MOV. Is that going out? Where's the E for move? Huh, I'm not sure I see the idea of Pieing here, but let's see what he's thinking. So Hasty would have presumably played Noyle. Yeah, and what am I doing with my V? But then aren't I V stuck? Oh, I guess I'm not V stuck because I still have Vin and Dev. And this works out a little bit better for me apparently. So this would have lost by 37, and what did I lose by? And I lost by 40. So there you go. Quackle Championship player is correct. I did lose 3 spread points in the endgame by playing Vino instead of Pieing. So that's a weird endgame. It's kind of counterintuitive to not go out in 2, especially with the V. But OM in the corner is just so many points, and I do stop Linga as well, that it makes it worth it. So that's a cool endgame. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to process all that, but fortunately, it only would have mattered for spread. This was HastyBot's game to win once the end was approaching. So yeah, that was a good game. I think I played well, other than that one turn where I played Sue instead of Yoni. That was a clear mistake. That was not my best. I don't think it would have mattered in the game, but I certainly should have seen that. So yeah, we now have a 7-3 series after 10 games. We are officially 10% of the way done with this series, which is a good milestone, but still quite a lot of Scrabble to go. So to everyone who's made it through the first 10 games, thanks very much for watching and for all of your support, and we'll be on to the next 10 very soon with Game 11. Thanks, guys, and have a good one. Bye-bye.